a brief thought on this week's Sedra, folks. This week's Sedra, I've been a rabbi for a very long time now. It's been about 2 months, give or take. And these are the Sedras that, as a rabbi, you're asked to talk about. These are the tough Sedras. You look at Bereshis, the Sefer of Bereshis, you got creation, and then you got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, there's stories galore, and then you get to Shemais, which is the Exodus from Egypt, and it's miracles and lessons and sermon material all over the place. And then you get to these Sedras, and it's like 4, 5, 6 weeks of the building of the temple, of the Mishkan, and it's very tough. These are like the tough Sedras as a rabbi to talk about. But there are some absolute gems. There's magic in these few words. And listen to this. This week's Sedra, we need to create the priestly garments. We've done very well creating all the tools, all the vessels of the tabernacle of the Mishkan. It's time this week for the priestly garments. Now Hashem says to Moses, listen, we're going to need some skilled people to undertake this project. There's weaving and there's sewing, and I can testify from personal experience, sewing is pretty tough. We're making skilled stuff. And the Pasuk says, you, Moshe, go and speak to everyone, Asher melesiv ruach chacham. Now, we typically understand that as God is saying to Moshe. We translate this as saying, God says to Moshe, listen, I need you to speak to everyone who has been filled with this divine wisdom. And we picture the scene. Moshe stands in front of the Jewish people. He's got a tannoy or a loudspeaker. Everybody who has divine wisdom, please report to me. We're going to talk about making the clothes for the priests. That's what we think. And the Chasam Sofer says you're reading it wrong. It's not speak to everyone who has been filled with divine wisdom. He says it means go and tell people that I have filled them with divine wisdom. Now, what does this mean? Picture the difference. In the first translation of this pasuk, we thought Moshe standing, making an announcement saying, everybody gather around. All the skilled people come over here. This is different. This scenario goes like this. There's a guy who's been a slave for his entire life in Egypt. He's never learned anything more skilled than making bricks. And then he gets a knock on the door. And who's there? It's Moses. It's Moshe, the miracle worker, the leader of the Jewish nation. And Moshe says, I want you to know that you have a skill set you didn't even know existed. You have the ability to come to the Mishkan and create the clothes for the high priest. Can you imagine what that must have done to that guy? Imagine him before that knock on the door, and now imagine him after that knock on the door. He is a completely different person. And the Chasam Sofer says that this is true of us today, that we have skills inside us that we don't know are there. We don't know that these skills exist, and someone will come up to us and say, you know what? You're really special. You're talented. You're gifted. You have a skill set you didn't know that happened. And a new realm of possibilities opens up to the recipient of that comment. Mark Twain said, I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. This is much better than that. This is that when someone goes up to someone else and says, you're gifted and you're talented, there is a transformative experience that happens there. But I think that this goes back further. I think this goes way back, because there's a verse in Beshalach, back in the exciting Sedras, back in the Sedras the rabbis like to talk about. There's a verse that says, we say it every day in Shacharit, Vayaminu Badonai u'Moshe Avdo, that the Jewish people believed in God and Moses. And the next verse is Oz Yoshe Moshe. And then Moses started to sing a song to the praise of God that echoes through the annals of history, that never stopped. We say it every single day. Now, we understand what it means to believe in God. Vayaminu b'Hashem, they believed in God. We know what that means. We believe in God. What does it mean to believe in Moses? What does that mean? And one of the commentaries says that the Jewish people placed their faith in their leader. And the next words are Oz Yoshe Moshe. And that faith, that belief that they put on their leader gave Moshe the ability to sing the most beautiful song to God. There was a new skill set that he gained from the faith that was put in him by the Jewish people. And weeks later, this week's Sedra, Moshe returns the favor to his people. He says, you believed in me back then. You opened my eyes to a skill set I didn't know I have. I'm returning the favor. And I think, look at the community. Look at the society that is. It's a group of people that put their faith in each other, that believe in each other, that knock on the door and tell each other you're amazing. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger told an amazing story. He said that when I came to America, I had nothing apart from $20 and some sweaty clothes in a gym bag. And people say to me now, the successful politician, actor, they say, wow, you're the self-made man. And Arnold Schwarzenegger said it's not true. Because I came with $20 in a gym bag, and the first Christmas that I spent in America, the guys from the gym came to my house and they gave me towels and they gave me blankets and they shared their food with me. I'm not the self-made man. I couldn't have done it without them, without their belief in me. And there's no such thing as a self-made leader. He needs the faith of his people. There's no such thing as a self-made Jewish person, because we go to each other and we help each other out and we believe in each other. So this week, go to someone, knock on the door, tell them they're amazing, tell them they're special, tell them they have gifts they didn't know existed, and watch the transformation that happens to them. It's the most beautiful, it's the most fundamental, and it's the most Jewish thing out there.